not a superhero in any way.
I am involved in that entertainment art since more than 15 years, so I know lots of artists, and I contact them because I told them I want to have an exhibition in our museum dedicated to your art, to how Superman was created, what he brings, what was the influence of DC Comics superhero in terms of design, fashion, pop art, street art, television and movie, of course. I want to have interviews. So they were quite fast, fully behind us. They allow us to go on the sets of Wonder Woman, of Justice League, to meet the director, to meet the crew, to meet the designer, to make the costume designer. And so we have, it's a living exhibition, because on the screen you have all those creators talking about their inspiration, and you can see Lindy Hemming explaining that her inspiration for Heath Ledger costume for the Joker was Pete Doherty or Sid Vicious, for example, shows you that finally superheroes are the reflect of our contemporary mythology.
Start to draw, thinking how can you make. To be honest, I have seen the exhibition in Paris before. No, it just feels like a tremendous compliment to me and other costume designers, you know, to be represented in this way. And for, most interestingly to me, for costumes to have become something, you know, that were worth putting in an exhibition instead of just an also, you know, just something also, you know. This is a 3D printed costume, so it's made from urethanes, and then it's hand painted on the surface to look like leather and metal. I mean, but really it could be, as it's Wonder Woman, it could be a God-produced fabric that none of us have ever seen before. You know, so yeah, it's not made of fabric, it's made of plastics, basically. Yeah. We changed a lot of things about the costume, but never the actual silhouette or look of the costume. And really, mainly in relation to the costume, I would try to work with the previous designer to refine what they'd already done and to make it more usable, because in the film Batman vs Superman, she doesn't really do very much exterior work or special stunts or anything, whereas our film, once we started Wonder Woman 1, the first Wonder Woman, well, I not only have to create the whole world of the Amazons and design them, but also to recreate her costume many times in different ways, so that she could be in the sea, or, you know, so that she could do many different stunts. Basically, make it more wearable and more stunt friendly.
Was that
Yeah, I think it might be the first time anybody's had to do so many costumes for women characters. No, I dare say there are some films like 2000 Years BC or something, or Barbarella, or I don't know. There are films in the past where there were lots and lots of women. But yeah, and it was a really interesting dynamic because every day there were every different kinds of women coming into work to get dressed, and it was a much more lively conversational set, you know, and a lively conversational fittings, costume fittings and making. So it was interesting, yeah. Obviously it was very different. About time too.
Yeah, maybe from here. Let me see. Yeah. Back in the 1980s. Now there's much more.
Everything else is
Well, it depends on your age. Well, if you are like me, you've seen Christopher Reeve on the screen at the theater. The costume behind me, which is the authentic costume that he used to wear, is something who touch you because that changed your point of view. Superman was leaving, and you had such a time in that theater where when you get out, everything was changed. And so for me, it's very touching. For some younger visitors, it will be maybe the Gal Gadot costume in Wonder Woman, and for some other or some woman there is the Linda Carter original from the TV series and the Tim Burton movies. I think we almost have all the characters of the iconic movies from DC. The penguin, the amazing costume from Michelle Pfeiffer in Catwoman. So I think for everyone, depends on what they loved, there will be something that touched them directly.